In this video, we're going to talk about the transport of carbon dioxide in the blood. Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So last lesson, we talked about the oxy-hemoglobin curve and what affects it. And we mentioned that the partial pressure of carbon dioxide was one of the things that can shift the curve. And in case you missed that video, I'll link it down below in the description. Well, today, we're going to see how carbon dioxide is actually carried in the bloodstream. It's easy for us to say that the primary purpose of respiration is gas exchange, but it's a little more difficult to explain how that gas exchange occurs. So if you're ready to ace your next phys test, grab your favorite fall drink and let's get started. When cells perform respiration, a byproduct is carbon dioxide. Now, carbon dioxide is transported, dissolved in the venous blood, bound to hemoglobin, and as bicarbonate. So carbon dioxide dissolves easier in plasma than oxygen does. About 7% of carbon dioxide is transported dissolved in the plasma, whereas only 2% of oxygen was dissolved in the arterial blood. So if only 7% of carbon dioxide is dissolved into the plasma, what happens to the other 93%? Well, the rest of the carbon dioxide actually dissolves into the red blood cell. Of this other 93%, 23% is bound to hemoglobin, and we abbreviate this HbCO2. The other 70% is converted into bicarbonate ions, which we abbreviate HCO3. Now, before we go too much further, let's decide what the actual reason is for removing carbon dioxide from our body. So an elevated CO2 level is called hypercapnia, and hypercapnia causes acidosis, and an acidosis is a low body pH. And a low pH can denature proteins. And remember, our whole body is made up of proteins. An elevated carbon dioxide level can also depress the central nervous system, and it can lead to confusion, coma, and death. And we'll dive into this in later lectures, but you should put a gold star beside it so that you don't forget it. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at carbon dioxide transport with a fun diagram. Okay, so with cellular respiration, cells give off the waste product of carbon dioxide to the bloodstream. This carbon dioxide gets dissolved in the plasma. Then, dissolved carbon dioxide in the plasma diffuses into the red blood cells. 23% of this carbon dioxide will bind directly with hemoglobin. When oxygen leaves its binding sites on hemoglobin, this increases the affinity of hemoglobin for carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide binds, forming carbaminohemoglobin, which is abbreviated HbCO2. So now let's address the other 70% of carbon dioxide. So dissolved carbon dioxide diffuses into the red blood cell, and what is not bound directly to hemoglobin will be transported as bicarbonate ions. So red blood cells have an enzyme known as carbonic anhydrase, abbreviated Ca. In the presence of this enzyme, carbon dioxide reacts with water to form carbonic acid, which we abbreviate H2CO3. But carbonic acid is unstable, so it will immediately dissociate into a hydrogen ion, which is abbreviated H+, and a bicarbonate ion, which is abbreviated HCO3 and a little minus sign. The hydrogen ion gets bound to hemoglobin. Hydrogen ions are acids, and hemoglobin acts to buffer them. The bicarbonate ion leaves the red blood cell via an antiport protein. This protein brings one chloride ion into the red blood cell for every bicarbonate ion that it takes out of the red blood cell. Now, just a fun fact. This transport is known as the chloride shift. And I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty cool name. Okay, so the bicarbonate that's now in the plasma acts as a buffer to moderate pH changes. And here is another gold star concept. Bicarbonate is the most important extracellular buffer in the body. So now carbon dioxide is transported to the lungs. So when blood gets to the lungs, the process that we just saw reverses. The partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the alveoli is lower than in the capillaries. This creates a diffusion gradient. Carbon dioxide will diffuse out of the plasma and into the alveoli. Now, this creates a vacancy for the carbon dioxide that's in the plasma. Carbon dioxide will then diffuse out of the red blood cells, which means that the hemoglobin will release the carbon dioxide that it is holding. And also, as the carbon dioxide in the red blood cells decreases, this tells the carbonic anhydrase reaction to reverse. Chloride trades itself for a bicarbonate ion. Hemoglobin releases its hydrogen ion. Then, the bicarbonate ion and the hydrogen ion form carbonic acid. Carbonic anhydrase changes carbonic acid into water and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide then diffuses out of the red blood cell, into the plasma, and then into the alveoli. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you understand carbon dioxide transport a little better. And the next time that somebody asks you, you can give them a whole unprovoked dissertation on the subject. Because we all want to look like know-it-alls, right? Anyways, if you got value out of this video, then gently tap the like button. Share it if you think it could help somebody, and comment down below if you have questions. Otherwise, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next video.